Hello everyone, my name is Matthew Myers, and today I'm going to be telling you why having Americans in our society with concealed weapons permits is a good thing. So I'm going to start you guys off with a few statistics across the U.S. There's an estimated 393 million guns in the U.S. today. Of those, 17.25 million individuals are expected to have concealed weapons permits this year, and 3 million individuals carry a weapon with them every single day, and an estimated 9 million carry at least once a month. So this graph shows a correlation between the drop in murder rate across year to year over the last 15 years and an increase in the number of concealed weapons permits handed out over those same 15 years. So there's a pretty strong correlation that the more people with concealed weapons permits, the less murder rate there is across the U.S. So in a study conducted by John Lott of the Crime Prevention and Research Center, he compared concealed weapons permit carriers and the general public with police. So in this study, he took into consideration violent crimes and non-violent crimes to compare the three, and it was a pretty staggering difference. So the public had over 3,800 crimes, while police had they had 103 crimes, and the concealed weapons permit carriers had 25 crimes, which was a fourth of what the police had. It's a pretty staggering number considering it shows that concealed weapons permit holders are actually the most law-abiding citizens in our country. There are a lot of people on both sides of the fences when it comes to gun control and how many guns there should be in the United States and who should have guns, and the recent shootings in our country have only divided that more. If our national media focused more on the positive impact that our gun holders and concealed weapon holders had on our society, there would be a better understanding of the positive things that go on within those communities, and the negative stigma behind these concealed weapons permits would be lifted. I was in the military for 4 years, and I've lived in a wide variety of areas to include liberal states, conservative states. I've been deployed overseas, and all of these areas have different gun laws and different requirements, and I've just seen a lot of different guns and how they impact people, so I have a lot of experience within that. Some of the main points I want to go over with you guys are how the media controls the people in our country and their view on guns, the cases in which having a concealed weapon permit actually saves lives, and the importance of background checks, going through the proper channels for buying a gun, and education. So my first topic, media controlling how we view guns. Most of the time, only the controversial shootings are what we see on TV, and that's just to boost numbers. TV shows and movies nowadays, they have unrealistic scenarios in which concealed weapon permit holders are firing into crowds, and obviously the statistics that I've shown you here show that the concealed weapon holders are actually the most law-abiding citizens in our country. Our TV shows and media are just portraying gun owners in a negative light and trying to push their political agendas. Among those trying to push their political agendas are news channels, which oftentimes use their platform to do that, leaving out a lot of facts. There's a lot of rules, regulations, and new laws being pushed, and oftentimes those are left out of the media, and facts are also left out. Since we can't depend on our news networks to give us the correct information about what's going on within our communities as far as gun laws and new regulations, I'll fill you in myself. That brings me to our second topic, which is cases in which having a concealed weapon permit actually saves lives. One of the most common times is house break-ins. Most states allows a resident to use their weapon to defend themselves and their families against someone breaking into their house, allowing them to shoot that individual. There's a lot of confusion when it comes to those states that don't allow you to shoot someone that breaks into your own home, and that oftentimes depicts the homeowner and gun owner in a negative light. But the real reason we want to focus on that is because it allows the men and women that are able to use their weapons to defend themselves the appropriate resources to defend their homes and their families. The second area that allows for the saving of lives is terrorist attacks. We all know that police can't be in every place at every time, so having over 17 million people in our country armed with a concealed weapon permit allows us to assist in saving lives when the police can't be there, which is a pretty important part of our society. So over the time frame from 2007 to 2015, there was a 190% increase in the number of individuals applying for a concealed weapons permit. During that time, violent crimes decreased by 18% and murder rates actually decreased by 16%. In a pretty staggering statistic here is states that allowed individuals to conceal carry without a permit actually had a 31% lower murder rate and a 28% lower violent crime rate than those states that had the least amount of concealed weapons holders. Putting these Good Samaritans in the right place at the right time wouldn't be possible without proper background checks and proper education. While I believe in the Second Amendment right, I don't believe that right should apply to everyone. This is a right that can be taken away if you don't follow the laws and regulations put forth by our country. Extensive background checks and wait periods are good ways to ensure that guns don't fall into the wrong hands and the people that shouldn't have them. As far as concealed carry classes go, when getting a concealed weapons permit, you're required to go through an educational course that goes over when you're legally allowed to carry, how to carry and draw your weapon, and scenarios in which to use deadly force. These courses are also great for anyone buying a gun, especially first-time gun owners. So some of the most important aspects of getting a concealed weapons permit are being a resident, not having a felony, not having a mental illness, and being in good standing with your state and government. So to review some of my main points, my first point, how media controls how people view gun owners, cases in which concealed weapons permits save lives, importance in background checks and educations, and with the right training and education, guns are a very important part of our society, and instead of being focused on how to get rid of guns, we need to be focused on how to educate gun owners in our society. I hope you guys found this speech very informative and that it changed your viewpoint on gun owners and concealed weapons permits. Thank you.